Hello, I'm Eric Zawadzki. I'm going to be running a Deviant the Renegades game with my regular tabletop group, since we're kind of on hiatus on our main game, being that we're all confined to our houses. Yeah, we decided early on that we're going to call it a cautionary tale. What exactly that means, we're not quite sure yet. We'll figure it out. Today we're going to do a session 0. I'm just going to go ahead and have my players introduce themselves.
Jake Huseby.
Noel Helgeson. I'm the one not pictured.
Mark.
Rachel.
Freedom. Hello.
Yep. Hello.
We are just to give you an idea
together.
Just to give you an idea of where we are so far is we've actually kind of passed the ping pong ball across the table a couple times already. We really don't have session 0 as we sort of have the first couple weeks of just sort of emailing each other and chatting at various social gatherings when we have them to kind of get a general sense of stuff, and then we get together at some point and have kind of a second to last or the last session before we actually have a real session. And so that's what we're doing today. Is this is our session 0. We're going to mostly be talking about conspiracies, linking characters together, things of that nature. So maybe everyone, you all have character concepts. Why don't you guys just share what you've got so far? Jake, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So my guy's going to be a former comedian who is kind of hiding out. He was hiding out because some people were out after his life. For some of the stuff that he said. He said some offensive things, and now people are after him. So he was hiding, and now he is a mutant.
So I'll go next. My character's name is Benji, and he is a thief. A burglar, in fact. He's a pretty smart guy, loves cars. He's a wheelman. Used to do a lot of kind of coming up with plans for, burglaries and, of the heist variety. And then carrying them off and being the guy who kind of comes up with the plan and then is the getaway driver. And now he's a coactive.
So I made a character, Solomon Starr, goes by Saul. Historically was a Army Reserve guy just to help get through schooling, ended up completing his associates in nuclear science and became a technician at the local power plant, which was his sort of steady normal job. And then accidentally got turned into a power source himself one day while making some Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets. Tamsin is an aspiring biathlete, where she just missed the last Olympic team, but she's hoping that maybe if nothing gets in her way, she'll make the next ones. In the off season, she also is a personal trainer. One evening, she was dealing with trying to pull her cat out from underneath the sofa when her upstairs neighbors were getting really, really loud, and things just kind of started to go downhill from there.
You turned into a cat, didn't you?
I turned into a cat.
It happens. All right, we kind of when we were kind of sketching out the beginnings of the conspiracy concept, we were talking about a conspiracy that doesn't really make deviants themselves, but keeps their eye out on places that cause divergence. And has happened to like basically buys apartment complexes that are haunted and or otherwise like full of god machine infrastructure or whatever awful occult nonsense might cause someone to diverge, and then just sort of picking them up when it happens. So they aren't really causing divergence, but they're, or at least not directly, but they are certainly exploiting natural factors, which is why all 5 characters are, or all 4 characters rather, are accidentals. That's one of our unifying elements as a group. And let's find my creation rules. Okay.
Notably, the conspiracy has bought buildings that we all live in, and so it is the quote unquote property manager of all the different apartment complexes that we live in, basically, or condo buildings.
If we wanted
Asshole
to,
land.
we probably could make it where we like live in either the same or maybe real close together. There's some ways that we could probably easily know each other or have ties to each other already, depending how much we want to do that.
Good.
It seems like everyone's character background talked about the swanky place they got, or the seemingly swanky place.
Swanky
places
swanky
with
facade,
bad wiring.
Yeah.
So it would be possible for everyone to be in the same building, especially if it's like like a high rise. Is it something where you guys want to be in the same building or spread out a bit more?
Yeah, let's do it.
It'd make it a little easier, I think, in some ways.
Yeah.
Because I think I had mentioned, like, I was in a condo. Jake, you were in a condo also?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Does it matter for the other people if you're like apartment people or condo people?
I think I said condo just pulling off of your guys' backgrounds.
Yeah. Well, I think it would. I think it would make it so that, because it seems like a few of us have like a couple of people that are identified in the building, but nobody has like a ton of people. So it would kind of give us a little more relationships to draw on.
It might be easier, maybe.
It would be very easy if it's
making NPCs that we might have ties to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it would be very easy for me to, maybe not monster of the week, but very easy for me to populate this condo with several others like yourselves that are not directly involved with your events, but that pop up.
Yeah, and like my character and Rachel's character both are rifle people.
That was accidental, by the way.
Probably could know each other from like going to the same shooting range or something.
Or at least like, hey, you're that one guy.
Yeah.
Did you say you're both rifle people?
Yes.
It was
no.
We both have firearms, specialties in rifle and marksmanship.
Yeah, biathlon. It's literally you see really fast and you shoot really well.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely also have that.
You're also a rifle person?
Yes, specifically rifles. Maybe
okay,
I'll at least switch what kind of gun.
Before.
All right, so we got 3
one of the
snipers.
things we need to come up with is the geographical location
and their wheelman.
I think we're in Texas or somewhere else in the South where gun ownership is like a major thing. Like it could be elsewhere in the US too.
We have a biathlete.
I know.
I also
have hunter, army buddy / policeman friend guy with gun. That makes sense. I mean, we have reasons to have weapons also.
Oh, I'm not dissing anybody for picking rifles as specialty. I'm just trying to figure out what that may say about the world in which we're living.
This is the condo for sharpshooters.
Maybe it's just really close to the one rifle range in town.
Yeah,
Could be.
Well, it's close to the power plant. What's your firearms, Noel?
2. I have an illegal handgun.
Okay. Well, thank goodness we all have guns.
Well, I guess Chronicles of Darkness. I mean, it doesn't really matter where. I don't think the gun ownership is probably a little higher on the Chronicles of Darkness than it is in our world.
I mean, all my shooting
You never
experience
know.
targets, so.
Oh yeah.
I can also turn into Go.
Well, yeah. You can.
How much background noise are you guys getting, by the way? Is it a manageable amount, or
from you?
from me? Yeah.
I haven't noticed any.
None.
Oh,
The only
good.
background
Okay.
noise I hear is from our own upstairs child.
Okay. Good. I'm also getting some of that, so I wanted to make sure that wasn't coming through too much.
You're getting some of
yours
ours
or yours?
Mine
Okay.
is upstairs and very much not being quiet. So
I've definitely had kids interrupt work-related phone calls. Not my kid, but other people's kids show up. So we're all dealing with it. It's funny. Okay, or not everybody, but
Better.
Yeah.
And that's
okay.
Cheating off my kids.
So
No, I'm looking to see what you have because you're right there.
Eric, he's cheating off my paper.
I'm just looking at her character sheet.
Sure. Okay.
So if we all live in the same building, we mentioned that there's probably a piece of infrastructure somewhere in the building that is involved in some of us.
Yeah.
I think Noel.
Oh yeah, Noel. Yeah, I can't remember it.
Weird power issues and failures, and maybe it was not written in my little blurb, but kind of my thought was like the maybe it was the angel demon, whatever that Noel talked about, or maybe it was just the machine itself trying to correct these power issues, which caused me to happen.
Yeah, I had written a character into my background. He was a funny little maintenance guy.
Oh yeah, the funny little man's guy.
That doesn't speak and just hands people work orders when they tell him something's broken, and he just kind of shuffles around, ostensibly fixing things, but nobody can quite figure out what he's up to. And the idea behind him was that he's, some kind of angel or something that's caretaking this elaborate piece of infrastructure that is housed within the building that we live in. When I diverged, it was because I had accidentally integrated with one of his tools and kind of become a piece of the infrastructure, or become, I don't know exactly the flavor of it, but my character used integrate technology for the first time by accident, and did it with a piece of angelic toolery. That's what caused everything to happen. Or maybe that was the effect of what happened, but I had broken into his office to see if I could find a tool that would actually fix some of the stuff that I saw that was broken, because I was trying to fix things myself, because he wouldn't do any of it. And the office itself kind of rebelled against me. It's kind of a whole thing. So
You said it like took your side against him.
yeah, well, what happened is originally it was trying to get me to leave by doing something to my, causing me to be afraid and, trying to drive me out. But as soon as I picked up the tool and the being showed up and started shouting at me wordlessly, the office took my side against him and caused him to have to leave. I still don't, I'm not sure what that means, like whether the office is kind of a piece of infrastructure or whether it's a sentient being in itself, or I don't know, but it has chased that guy off for the time being, and I haven't seen him around since then.
I think having the like building have some sort of maybe crude or some sort of sentience makes sense for me too, since it was like trying to solve its problem and tried to use me as a tool, almost opposite of how you used or integrated a tool of it for you.
Oh,
Sure.
so like maybe the piece of infrastructure is the building itself,
Right.
not. That's interesting.
The funky
Yeah.
bits on the inside, not the swanky facade plastered on the outside.
I like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Eric, are you all right with having the building have its own inscrutable wants and desires?
Oh gosh, you know me. I love having inscrutable wants and desires for anything at all.
Well,
Toasters.
speaking of inscrutable wants and desires, there are two. I'm playing with a form of symbiote, and I have a.
Oh yeah, this is fun.
The shoulder angel and the shoulder demon, if we want to use that terminology. Two voices, one in each ear. I may or may not hallucinate them having actual forms. Because that's
but they have basically different aspirations. They have two different aspirations that are always contradictory or like mutually exclusive.
Right. They have very different opinions
that's be fun.
about how I should do things. And so like I was thinking that they would be not like so much like a religious angel and demon, but more like a god machine angel and demon. In the sense that one wants me to fix things and one wants me to break things.
Oh no, I see what you're talking about. Okay, hold on.
You should be able to figure out these.
Oh, yeah, I just didn't get into it.
Yeah, but the one of my variations is going to be an otherworldly connection to the kind of the world of the god machine, angels, demons, and infrastructure, which is one of the reasons why, so my character is like running around the building, like kind of exploring it and trying to figure out how it works. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think I already made a note to myself that probably one of the early mysteries is what the heck is the building actually for?
Right.
Because making deviants is not the purpose of the infrastructure. You guys are by products. The little maintenance guy was not interested in making sure your apartments were safe and hospitable and clean. His only concern was to make sure that the infrastructure was maintained. And so that's why he was so off, like so like not interested in helping you. I felt that was pretty obvious from the description you had.
Yeah.
Joel is now able to see the funky bits on the inside.
Right, and I have a chance at figuring out how they interact with each other rather than it just being completely inscrutable.
I had figured, that in my brief union with the power of the infrastructure, that I was like tapped in, or part of it was into its like fate calculator, which is why I have my precognition powers. So maybe it has something to do with fate and prediction, or at least that's one aspect.
I really like precognition. I wish my mutant powers could get it for me.
Yeah.
I do like that maybe that has something to do with what it's actually for.
It's a giant probability calculator.
I just went for what amused me. And accidentally.
Well, I'm sure we can integrate you. Yeah, turning into a cat is a very important life goal. Let's see what else is. You have a noisy upstairs neighbor.
Mm-hmm. I would say I was thinking, depending, and I can. If this ended up being the thing, I would probably take this out of one of my touchstones. But I would say it would be interesting if the noise that actually caused everything, it was the sound of all that stuff happening to Jake's character, whose name I have totally.
Steve.
Being shot in the head.
Steve.
Yeah, that would.
Or it could have been my apartment exploding.
Yeah, that would probably also be loud.
Is your character? Oh, he's gone now. Okay.
I'll be right back. I'm getting more wine.
Very important. This time I'm splitting it among 5 people, so that bottle's gonna.
Yeah, he's only splitting it among one. I'm still recovering, so.
Oh yeah.
That's why we didn't have any idea
Oh man.
it was built till it was done, because we're totally apart.
I am glad that it's enough behind you that we are able to momentarily forget that it was a problem. So
I can sit. That I can do.
What was the question, Jake?
learning that from my daughter, or from your daughter, was interesting. Okay.
She also emailed the teacher too, so I got
she emailed the
an email from her teacher a couple of days later.
Yeah. Would you feel comfortable with me explaining the situation a little bit more?
Yeah. So as I came out of isolation within the house on Friday because I was fairly sick with what we're pretty sure was COVID-19. And my breathing was not really that great. So we went in to get it checked out on Friday morning, and Madeline was holding it together on the outside very well, but she I guess texted William with what was going on, and then she also
Who is my son?
Wow.
her teacher.
They've known each other since they were 3. Yeah, so the first thing we hear about our very close friend like having COVID-19 is from my son's text messages as my wife was plugging it into the wall, after him having not had it on him all day. Like he wasn't looking at it, and so he plugs it in to just charge it and realizes there's this string of text messages talking about going to the hospital. It's like, wait, okay, I don't want to really delve into my child's stuff, but seriously, what's going on? So,
It's funny now, and I'm glad that it's funny now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little alarming at the time, but
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah, I had no idea. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't really say, hey, just FYI, breathing feels bad.
You know how we got together a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. I guess it wasn't that long ago, was it?
Well, that was more than a
the
couple
2
weeks
weeks.
ago.
Yeah,
That was-
it
Yeah, it was more than 2 weeks ago.
down
Yeah,
a while after that.
that was like the Sunday before all of this happened, I think,
Saturday before.
or Saturday
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that weekend we like did all our social stuff that weekend, and then kind of knowing the lockdown was coming very soon, and then of course Monday they announced that Tuesday everything would stop.
The last Saturday that we were
Yeah.
pretending things were normal.
Jake, you were
All right.
asking something about
Okay.
the character before I ran off for more wine.
Oh, I was just wondering
Yeah.
if your character had a reason to generally keep a noisy place.
No, I would
No?
say
Okay.
probably not. Single guy working.
I think the shock jock comedian is the one that
Yeah.
Might,
plays
yeah.
You were probably
TV too
obnoxious
loud.
to the floor.
You probably have
Yeah.
parties and stuff.
Yeah.
Your socialize is
Well,
probably-
no. See, I'm supposed to be laying low, and before all of the mutations and stuff happened, and if it's after the mutation happened, I have amnesia, so I don't know anyone. So I wouldn't be having parties, but that doesn't mean I would be quiet.
Before.
I was thinking more along the lines of playing TV too loud.
Yeah, yeah. That
Just
that
like
was
spending a lot of time alone and like trying to fill the room with noise when you're used to like actually being around crowds regularly, but you're trying
Right.
to lay low and avoid the crowds. So yeah, too much late night with Conan O'Brien or whatever is hot these days. But like late night comedy stuff,
yeah.
and that stuff goes pretty late. So
Well, if you were fairly animated in your persona, then there could be like very loud footfalls and very aggressive, like, getting my point across type slamming of things. And I
Playing
mean,
video
I
games
probably
and
wouldn't be
shouting at the
home
screen.
during the day. So
yeah.
you could have taken up clogging. Who knows?
Steve is a big guy. That would be loud.
Well, do we want to talk about divergences, or do we want to spend more time talking about populating the building or whatever?
I don't know about populating so much as do we want to flesh out our connections between each other?
Oh, sure.
Because so we can say Jake is the upstairs condo neighbor
To
to Tamsin.
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 Yes.
And Steve, not Jake.
Steve
Steve.
lived above.
Jake is here. Steve's in
Tamsin.
the building. Yep.
We all go to the rifle range, apparently.
Yeah, apparently we're all into rifles, so it would make sense that we're friends, even though I won't know any of you.
My God.
Hey, Steve, who are you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to start every conversation with "Who are you?"
Yeah, how much do you remember?
Nothing.
Not
Right?
much. I have 5 points of amnesia, so it's
Like-
almost everything.
Reading your character background, I'm like, I can see why you would be like, you deserve a lot, like to be receive compensation in a lawsuit against your landlord, because like your memory is slowly going and going and going over the course of while you're living in this building, watching TV, and it's just not okay. What happened to you?
Yeah, no, it's not at all. But that's not
No.
why I'm suing. I'm suing because there's
Point
definitely
being,
something
like,
they did wrong.
Do you have a certain amount of short term? Do you have any long term
Aspirations?
memory?
Memory.
Memory.
Okay. I don't think I have much in the way of long term. Short term, I'm thinking it comes and goes, mostly based on what's most or least appropriate for the situation.
You can remember the last scene or something.
I don't think
Well, no,
it's a
so-
matter of your memory gets erased, but it's just like you don't
Yeah.
remember anything from prior to your divergence and have big gaps
Right.
after it too.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So
not
it's
have
like,
to-
So I will blank out on stuff.
But we don't have to
yeah, we're not.
ourselves all the time.
Yeah. No one's gonna have to catch me up every session on where we are.
We'll just have
That's
to
what
catch.
you're asking.
Yeah, we're not.
You
You're
just
not
you just might
playing-
have to remind
we're-
me.
Yeah, this isn't Memento the role playing game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone wants to play Memento the role playing game.
Least of
That
all me.
sounds,
Yeah.
Yeah. But but there's most of his memories are gone.
Yeah.
From anything prior to the divergence.
So that's how you guys know each other. I'll kind of describe what my character does around the complex, and you tell me where that plugs into your story.
Yeah.
My character spends a lot of his time working on his car and his motorcycle. He is absolutely like in love with his machines, and so he hangs out in the garage. And if we're in a high rise, maybe we've got like a garage floor or whatever, or
Tenant parking thing.
right. And so he spends a lot of time down in there, working on his machines. And he's got a couple of parking spots, one for his car, one for his tools, basically, and his motorcycle. So he's got like some big like lock chests with tools in them and whatnot. Otherwise, lately he's been running around doing some of the same kind of stuff as the funny little maintenance guy used to do, but inexpertly, and he may or may not be breaking things all over the place because he has no idea what he's doing.
You just do what the little people on your shoulders tell you to.
Yeah,
You're not quite sure, not really sure which one's the devil, which one's the demon, and which one's the angel some days.
yeah.
The one that tells you to change a light bulb one day tells you to I don't know, break a toilet the next.
Pretty much.
Depending on the day that we catch you, you may or may not be willing to help with the jump.
Well, but that didn't exist before the divergence.
Oh, I
though,
suppose.
right?
So are you basically acting as like the repairman for the complex, or hold on?
I think he wanted to actually be able to get things done because the quote unquote repairman wasn't.
Well, I wanted to fix things that were broken with like the whole apartment, but I'm not gonna like unplug anybody's toilet or anything.
Not the
Yeah.
person with problems for your like broader picture guy.
Right, but see, that was my original goal, but now I have these inscrutable infrastructure things that Eric was talking about, that the funny little man was doing, that has nothing to do with anything that's actually helpful to us as tenants.
Sure.
You said you do have pistol or something, right?
I do, yeah.
I mean, you probably go to a range to keep up on that too, right?
Definitely not.
No. Okay. I just wonder if there's some connection that would make sense, since you are a criminal and my best buddy is a police officer. Maybe have like stories or
well, well, Rachel asked a question that made sense. You know, if were you the kind of person that if someone seemed to need a jump just before the divergence stuff happened, you would be okay with offering that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So,
if,
I mean, it
and
could
if
just
you
be a
need help
person
with
like,
your car
yeah.
maintenance or whatever, I would love to get in there and tinker with it. He's definitely like, you know, in love with cars and machines.
So, I mean, if you're around in the garage a lot, we probably just see you in passing kind of deal, like a very
Yeah.
Yeah.
here's that guy, he's always down here while
Yeah.
we're going and coming from work and all that stuff.
I left my lights on once. He helped me out.
Maybe we see you tinkering
Yeah.
around in the building sometimes too, you know, digging in electric panels or whatnot.
For sure. Now I'm picturing the building from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Somebody should have
Opens
been.
the gates to hell of sorts. I know.
Are you the
There's not really there's no reason that you like. I'm not sure what your.
snoring so loud?
I know.
Well, I mean, if your personality involves kind of helping people out, like maybe not like at, crazy like martyrdom sort of level of helping people out, but you're just sort of neighborly generally, which is an interesting trope within the criminal background that you have. It's like, yeah, you do these heists, but like that doesn't mean you're not a good citizen.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You're a nice guy. Yeah, whenever people have like some issue, you're the one that figures out how to spend 5 minutes and help them out.
You stick it to the man kind of criminal, or like for the thrills kind of criminal?
Actually, both. I have a blood on my hands merit, where I have a vice that didn't manage to get scrubbed out, and it's breaking the law unnecessarily. And so, like I get a kick out of speeding when I don't have to. I get a kick out of stealing things that I don't need.
Rules are for sucks.
Exactly.
I'm imagining you as Vin Diesel as Robin Hood now, and that's just going to be my brain.
Diesel as Robin Hood.
Even though I know that doesn't.
I was like, I don't remember that remake, but sounds awesome.
I don't know, Eric, if you're thinking, if our divergences are, well, I guess Rachel's and Jake's might be fairly close together based on what was pre-written there, but are you thinking that we all kind of happened around the same time, or maybe there's some difference where maybe, let's say if Knowles happened first and he was sort of now investigating all the funny business that was going on as the rest of us had accidents, that could be a reason he like meets up with us as well.
Frankly, I could have been the cause of your accidents.
Oh.
Ooh.
Happened to do something that caused this weird power fluctuation just as he was coincidentally being murdered, and my cat was on edge because high energy, and then next thing I know I'm sharing DNA and he's got an extra life?
Possibly. I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to happen all at the same time. I'm going around fucking with all kinds of stuff I shouldn't be.
Yeah, but instead of it like causing, a circuit breaker to trip or a pipe to leak, it causes, people to turn into cats. That's what happens when you poke at infrastructure without understanding it. Yeah, or when you do what the shoulder demons tell you, and you don't know which is the devil and which one's the angel. Okay. I feel like, Jake, yours took a lot longer than everyone else's, because I'm feeling like yours was like just weeks and months of slowly losing your memories.
Yeah.
Without even noticing it, because you're all by yourself the whole time. So I think yours is going to be the most gradual of divergences compared to the others. Knowles has obviously had a trigger event in the to use Unknown Army's parlance there a little bit. A very clear incident that provoked the changes, and him poking around at something could well have been the underlying cause for one or both of the others of you. I feel like the electrical problem, I don't know. Maybe that was one where you could have stopped it, but you didn't, and then bad things happen. Mo could have stopped it, but didn't.
It's not necessarily an electrical problem, it's a power issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Lord only knows what powers things in the building.
Yeah.
It's not electricity, I can tell you that.
Eric probably has some ideas.
I'll come up with something. You know me, I'll make up something, make it seem like it makes sense, and then I'll somehow tie it in by like the second last session. Everything makes sense.
So maybe some of the issue is that it's trying to get the required power through the power grid, the electrical power grid, but it's not sufficient. And which is why it's kind of reaching out for other sources that could be made.
It's like a permanent brownout. The building does not have enough electricity coming from the main power grid to power everything that's going on. And so it has to suck off some additional energy from whatever hell dimension most of its power comes from.
Make people batteries.
People batteries.
Wait, did you just turn us into the Matrix?
Well, I was, yes.
Only a little bit.
just a little.
I mean, that was where we got the phrase Marco Cool, right? I mean, like the Matrix was the definition of Marco Cool.
I don't know if it was the first one, though. I want to say it was more like the third one, when there were katanas and motorcycles and stuff like that.
There's a lot of things that go into it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, okay.
We want to start talking about the conspiracy?
Yeah, we're going to do that in just a minute.
Because we're not tools of the conspiracy.
No.
We're much too free range.
We have to somehow be against it.
Yeah. Well, we're suing them, so that's a starting point.
So this lawyer, our communal lawyer, is not part of the conspiracy.
We hope.
No.
Because then we'd be like working for it. That's different. We're not loyal to it. We're fighting against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to give you an idea, my character's motivation isn't necessarily money. He's using the lawyer to figure out who is really in charge, like who's behind the HOA and whatnot, so he can figure out who to really fuck with.
my character, it's your lousy construction caused my apartment to explode, which, while I was okay, thankfully, ended up somehow costing me my job because those bastards fired me for tripping the radioactive sensors all the time. So I need to stick it to them for my financial comeuppance.
This could jeopardize a life goal I have worked for. I have emotional damages and pain and suffering.
Your name should totally be Karen.
Just to back up for the people who were not at our previous little session. So one of the things we agreed on pretty early, before we really knew whether we were in the same building or different buildings, was that there is an actual like unchained demon lawyer. They don't know that he's a demon, but he's a lawyer who's going around to people in the building and is trying to get them to like join a class action lawsuit against the building management property company. So this is like something we introduced early, as this is sort of a way of getting everyone in the same place. Although obviously we've managed to find enough ties that they know each other in advance already. So sort of an early exposition character with his own motives, doing God knows what with this building.
And like ostensibly, he's probably after whatever infrastructure or screwing with the God machine, or maybe he has some completely different, motive. But he's on to the fact that the building is funky and he wants in.
We decided this is an actual capable lawyer, though, right?
Maybe.
We think so.
Yeah.
I hired him. So.
He's the least likely person to have hired him.
He's an expensive lawyer.
He's
He's
the best lawyer you can ever remember having hired.
Yes. Yes.
All of your Yelp reviews must be really, really boring. This is the worst thing I ever remember eating. This is the best thing I ever eaten.
I've never had this before.
It's pizza, sir.
Yeah.
Your circular food was quite an experience.
I like your pepperoni Krispies.
Ah.
Got a very unique shape to it.
And the
My
wedge.
goodness. All right. Well, we're
It's a circle, sir.
All right, so I think we have. Let's start. I think with let's start doing some conspiracy stuff because that'll take a little time to flesh out.
Yeah.
And touchstones. Actually, maybe let's do.
Do you want
kind
to
of
touchstones we already have?
Yes, that would be useful. Do you have? Are those in your back? What are we missing so far?
I'm gonna need
What
to
do we have?
erase
What
one
are
of
we
my
missing?
So, loyalty wise, I have my police buddy, hunting partner, Charlie Butler, that we were in the army together.
Okay.
I've got a personal trainer as a conviction touchdown, or as a conviction touchdown, as a loyalty touchdown.
One of those real break you down and put you back together. Maybe put you back together. You're not quite sure.
Maybe that's.
But I don't have any conviction at all.
Like
yet.
Connection between the characters, but
Yeah, he could probably afford me. I'm assuming.
yeah, she's a personal trainer
I am a personal trainer.
in your building,
Yeah, one
and
of
your downstairs neighbor.
Well,
specialty.
then you can't be a loyalty touchdown, though,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I had to erase you.
because you're not human. I
You
was
can.
thinking.
It just gets.
I suppose.
Actually, loyalty touchdowns can be not baselines. It's totally
Oh, really?
fine. It just gets kind of
okay.
creepy when you have loyalty touchstones for each other, because
Oh.
you know how loyal. Yeah, it could be
Yeah, let's not do that.
weird. Yeah.
I'll
I don't.
remove
Um,
culture as my conviction touchstone because I originally had my upstairs neighbor as.
Can I have Rachel as my conviction touchstone?
You're convincing.
I'm your
She's
loyalty. Have fun, Eric.
Yeah. Well, there are a couple of elements to think about here. If you have enemies from prior to divergence, the divergence tends to put into relief, or really strengthen that anger. I know when I was doing the Light of the Sun materials for Dark Eras 2, the era that was going on, the vendetta was a big thing. So usually the first thing that new deviants do when they diverge is they hunt down all the people that they had a vendetta against before they became deviants. And then when they run out of those enemies, then they settle down and actually.
Well,
But
I definitely had enemies before Divergence, but I don't remember
Oh, yeah,
them
you said that.
necessarily. So maybe I'm out to get someone around here who reminds me of them.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Like when you half forgot, like you started mixing them up, and then all you remember is your hatred for this guy.
Yeah.
You just became the solution to a CSI episode, I think.
Wow.
Can
Oh my gosh, that's great.
One, Eric,
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
can the condo HOA be one, or if it's going to be sort of the conspiracy, maybe it can't?
It really needs to be something that can be, as I described, either taken out with a bullet or a bomb in one go.
Yeah, so it can't be the building.
Well, no, not the building.
Well,
I had the landlord /
Oh.
management company.
You were all wibbly while you said that. What was the criteria?
the way I describe it is it has to be something you can destroy or kill with a bullet or a bomb in one shot.
Okay, good. Well, because I had
So-
like my old boss, because he fired me, and the power plant itself.
That's cool.
Depends how big the bomb is.
Oh yeah, so that still qualifies. He didn't say it had
Like-
of such and such destructive power.
You're not thinking about the physical structure though, right? You're thinking about like the people who run it, kind of like the
But
management.
my old boss,
That's
Yeah,
a very
specifically.
specific person.
but otherwise,
Yeah.
the power plant, the nuclear power plant itself
One sec.
was my thought.
That might be a little big. Although that is a pretty funny one. And by funny, I mean gives opportunities for horror, because of course if you destroy a power plant in a city,
Yeah,
especially a nuclear power
I'll be
plant,
fine.
that creates its own problems.
I'm game.
I'm gonna
I'll
allow
be
it.
fine. That's
I'm
what you
game.
said, Eric.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be
Nuclear
fine.
power plant.
I missed it. What are we doing with the nuclear power plant?
Bombing
Blowing
it.
it up.
Oh man,
Because I'll be fine.
because you'll be fine.
Don't know about you
So-
guys, but I'll be fine.
So will you, Jake.
Yeah,
Jake, you'll be
I'll be
fine,
fine. I'll be fine. It's gonna take a lot to take me out.
I'm the wheelman. I'll be fine.
I mean, I guess if I could find a lead-lined cat carrier, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I could tell you how to be fine.
I think we just figured out how we're going to end this game.
And a lead
And an explosion, or with cars going to the sun, or objects that go into orbit that shouldn't go into orbit, and building leveling explosives are pretty much your MOs.
It worked for the demon playtest, and it was perfect. So
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's
Speaking of
mage,
which-
it's always about putting things in orbit.
Speaking of
so
which,
anyway.
does that mean that that the lawyer could be a touchstone for me?
that was who I was planning on my loyalty touchstone being, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh boy. That makes you like nice and vulnerable to all his shenanigans. I'm okay with that. Okay. Suckers. Okay. So demon lawyers for both Jake and Noel. Mark, you have police buddy, old boss, nuclear power plant.
Well, yeah.
Did you have another one in mind yet?
My buddy being loyal, my one loyalty,
Yep.
and then the power plant and my old boss as my sort of 2 of my 4 conviction. I have to figure out 2 more.
Okay.
I erased my upstairs neighbor as one of my conviction touchstones to gain some voting, and I added
That would be awkward.
Switzerland who messed with my skis that one time.
I mean,
That one dude
know.
in Switzerland.
You have
You-
2
you-
loyalties?
you are welcome to come take me out. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
I'll
We're
be
all
fine.
accidentals. We start with 1
I'll live.
loyalty and 4 convictions.
I thought it was an either or.
Yeah, I had it as an
either
either
or.
or. And I have enough problems coming up with reconviction, so
I
I
thought
didn't
it
want to
said,
try to.
I thought it
Yep.
said it had to be convicted.
Oh,
No.
it
Nope, not
doesn't
for
it depend
accidental,
on
it's
your
up to
clade?
you. Origin. It matters. Origin
it's
determines
origin,
your. Yep. So the fact that you're accidentals mean you get to go "Wee," whatever, but you get extra medium instability at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
is,
Okay.
everyone's gonna have is gonna be one up on one of their scars. We'll get to that later. So police buddy,
We could
boss,
have
nuclear power
2
plant.
is what you're saying. It could be 2 and 3 instead of 1 and 4.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
that's the route I'm
Yeah,
going.
you're gonna have at least 3 conviction, 1 loyalty, but where the 5th one is up to you.
So I need 1 more conviction.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you
I'll-
can
I'll-
figure that out once we do the conspiracy.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm just trying to see where we are so far, and then we'll go from there. So, Jake, I have 2 loyalty and 1 conviction for you so far.
Yeah.
2 more convictions.
Right.
Okay, we'll figure that out as we go.
Eric,
Um,
I have a conviction at the funny little maintenance man.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
See,
me.
he's not gone, right? He's still.
No, he's probably around somewhere trying to figure out how to get back in. But
I see.
who knows what's happened with him though? Because something really bad happened to him when I took his tools. He may or may not have fallen. He may or may not have gotten banished temporarily. He might have had to become reintegrated by the God Machine since then. Who knows?
One way or the other,
He's
you are
probably
not
had a
his
real
favorite
bad
person.
day.
If we are saying that his either action or maybe, is it Noel's or is it his action or inaction might have caused my issues, I could see that I could have him as a conviction, or depending on what my opinion on the matter is.
Well, he was the repair guy before all of this happened, so
if all of you guys hated that guy, you just didn't quite have the encounter that Noel did.
I don't think I hate
that would be
guy.
pretty funny, but
Well, I think in my little blurb, I knew that there's all these kind of weird power issues because I deal in power grid stuff.
Yep.
And I can see that it's having these issues that it shouldn't have. And maybe I knew this guy's going around and doing diddly squat. So if it helps, I'm going to put him down because I think it's easy to do.
okay.
Yeah, go for it.
What are we calling him? Repair Angel?
Calling him the maintenance guy for that one of my notes, but
Yeah.
I'll decide what he actually is at some point.
He should have a very folksy name, like a Gene or something, that is printed on the pocket of his maintenance outfit.
Leroy.
Louis.
That makes sense. I was just gonna say, how do we even know his name? But if it's on his pocket, that
Yeah.
fits.
Probably does.
If he's
Or a little
trying to fit in.
badge or
it's
something.
a people do.
His name's not Angel.
Unhit.
Not currently. Rachel, did you have what other ones did you have, or did you have any still?
For conviction or period?
Or either. Period.
I currently have a teammate and my coach as my loyalty touchstones. I'm willing to change those. For conviction,
Okay.
I have, as mentioned, that one jerk from Switzerland.
Yep.
I had the landlord / management company, but that one little maintenance guy would probably, if he's the face of the building, more or less, would be the embodiment
Okay.
of that.
We can make him. We can make him the initial antagonist, or early antagonist at least. And then we have one more conviction to do.
Yeah.
I'll make
we
my
can do
other
that as
loyalty like a girlfriend or someone I'm dating at the moment,
Okay.
because that's
Extra creepy.
extra creepy.
Oh, it's
know, when
you're
she-
needy when you're a deviant.
dies from cancer and
Oh, wow. That's
A good
major
dark past.
instability.
Active light beams at her.
intention.
Oh gosh.
But would that little angel maintenance guy, whoever Noel's little guy,
He's short, right?
his
Maintenance guy.
Yeah.
would he be the same person as the landlord for the building?
No.
No.
Okay, in
No,
that
they're
case,
gonna be different people.
okay. Then if he's the person that we can at least, because okay, the landlord was my conviction touchstone, because you know how many
Okay.
times I complained about the noise upstairs and they said, whoops, sorry, nothing we
Ah.
can do. Probably because he's this like big name guy.
We should definitely have something that's very signature about the person who works at the front desk. I don't have anything
They
to
wear
go
really
with there.
thick glasses, but there's no actual lenses. Or they always have a coffee mug that's suspiciously full of red liquid, or
Because
not
'cause
blood, not blood, wine,
wine, yeah.
not blood.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be blood or V8, but
Or no, maybe even more ridiculous. It's a coffee cup that's full of I mean, you really can't see what's in it, but it doesn't look like coffee. And it always smells like gasoline now.
Yeah. And that
At least with
person
blood,
is-
I knew exactly where she was going, but gasoline.
that person is always at the desk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
She's drinking
gasoline.
gasoline.
I feel like this is a 90s alternative song come to like life here or something.
Well, I mean, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the Bud Machine stuff. This is a sort of weird thing that does exactly what it's supposed to, which is to make the players go, that's probably important. Gotta be just weird enough. to get
Did
their
the mug
attention.
say, I hate Mondays?
Sure.
What? What about Mondays?
I think it would be funny if the mug said, I hate
Well, no, I
Mondays.
gotta even.
Mug said, I
Okay.
hate Mondays.
Maybe I might be getting a little too ridiculous if the mug changes what day it hates to whatever day is today.
She's got 5 mugs full of gasoline.
7.
Seven. I don't know how many days there are in a week
And
anymore.
if you're there at midnight, you never really see her swap one mug for the other. But if you're paying attention, you notice it changed. It's just
Okay.
really a mug.
That's I think that's enough weirdness for the first little bit here. Let's maybe we'll expand touchstones a little bit more.
I'm putting down Noel's squirrely guy as my touchstone until there's an actual better name for him.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just been calling him maintenance guy in my notes. I'll come up with a better name for him, or I'll make you guys do it during the middle of the first session. You know how.
Didn't you say something like Gene Knoll or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the most generic maintenance guy name you could possibly have?
Lee.
Gene.
Gene.
Okay, Gene is fine. I'll write that down. And especially if it's spelled Gene.
Oh, of
I was
course.
gonna say
Yeah.
not Gray, not Jean Grey, like Gene, like Gene.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No, that is actually super like appropriate under the circumstances.
Not Gene.
Okay. Oh gosh,
Hello, Floofy Floofy.
watching myself rubbing my hands together. Um, okay, so I guess we can start with talk about our conspiracy.
It's sticky.
We kind of had a general sense of conspiracy as doesn't make their own deviants, but exploits the fact that they naturally occur here and their other properties.
Would they be trying to find out who deviates and like capture them, or just keep an eye on them kind of deal?
I'm trying to decide on that a little bit. Let me make a note of this first, and then we'll go into that next.
You're a little longer than I thought she would.
Man, I haven't had any kitty time in a while.
Oh, sorry. Are we making?
Oh man,
That's okay.
Well, he can't see the cat on the screen.
No, I mean, I could when Rachel picked her up.
okay, so that's a good question. Do we want to? What do they do with these deviants? Do they try to recruit them? Do they try to lock them up? Do they just kind of observe them and try to figure out how they work?
They're trying to reverse
some
engineer what
columns.
they did. That might be a little too sinister. Dissection.
Like observe to see if they're useful for whatever the use
Yeah.
might be.
Mm.
They're just hoping that the randomness poops out something that they need for whatever their purposes are, and then if so, then they can try and capture it or whatever
Yes, whatever they're looking for.
to make use of.
I like that idea. I think that they should be like the bird watchers of conspiracies. Like they're trying to classify us and figure out what we do and why we do it and things like that.
If
Big glowy rifle user.
so if they want to have some control over who is and isn't in the building, because they want to monitor that kind of stuff, it would also make sense for them to have a moving service that they let you use for free if you are moving out, so that they can,
Like
Set up
what
do they know where you
surveillance.
move to?
named moving.
maybe move you somewhere other than you thought you were going to be moving.
Fly by night moving company.
Yeah.
Oh man. And wait a minute. What if they choose who to sell units to by whatever categorization that they're trying to create new deviants for? They're trying to figure out like what different kinds of humans turn into what kinds of deviants.
So each level has an experimental and a control apart or condo.
Wow. This building is only 50% deviants. No, that's not quite true. But, okay.
Bring it back.
Could you bring me a Cadbury cream egg when you come back, please? Thank you.
And then they can like sell their data to other conspiracies.
Oh man, they're like, that's just like an extra betrayal.
Yeah.
We're going to get targeted power advertising.
You're going to be on every conspiracy's mailing list.
Yeah.
You're looking for devoted.
Yeah,
Well,
It's a really weird recruitment, but like, anyway.
well, I mean, like Jake's character will get memory loss help ads and
Ow.
Not sure why I need that.
I don't, you'd probably remember if there was a problem.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know.
I suppose with
Yeah,
Amnesia
I mean, like,
5, you have so much amnesia that you don't know you have amnesia.
It's like circle around.
the lack of memories is actually the sort of mercy. Okay, so they sell their data to the greater web page. Maybe they don't really even do so much. Like maybe they only occasionally recruit a devoted here and there, but they aren't really interested in recruiting devoted. Maybe they just give the information, like sell where these people are moving to these other conspiracies to be picked up. Does that make sense?
Kind of
Yeah.
going in and out from. So I missed half of that. I'm sorry.
I said maybe the conspiracy that owns the building doesn't have a huge devoted population, but what they do is they sell the whereabouts of deviants to other conspiracies along with a nice dossier of what their capabilities are, what their vulnerabilities are, and where they're moving to, so that other conspiracies can recruit them.
Hmm.
Hey, maybe all of us have been trying to sell our place too, and they just reject all of our buyers because they're keeping us around waiting for somebody to be interested in us. Like the HOA kind of has a lot of power over us.
That could work for some of you guys. I don't think Steve is looking to move, but
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm just saying,
or is
like,
looking to sell necessarily.
all of these problems that we had, like with our water, with our electricity, all that kind of stuff. Like, we can't fix it by moving away,
Right.
because they've got this iron grip on us.
No, but we can lie through our teeth and try and get somebody else to be a sucker.
How do they have an iron grip on us?
By not
if-
approving any of our sales of our
The new tenants.
yeah.
That would want to, because they've got to have some way of keeping us there. Otherwise, if things are bad enough that we want to sue, like, why would we just move?
They have some funky language in their contracts that maybe we don't pick up on initially.
Oh, that's something.
Having problems, like, I want to move, but look, I can't move until I do these weird hoops that somehow I can't actually accomplish.
Right.
And maybe they also wreck your rental history in subtle ways. So you try to rent elsewhere, and they're like, you come back as having been evicted from the last 12 places you've lived.
Well, it's not so much as that, as everybody who tries to buy your place, they just, hey, we ran a background check on that person, and look at all the stuff we found and or created.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't necessarily keep you from moving.
No, but it would keep you from selling your condo.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying, though, is it wouldn't keep Steve from moving, because
Right.
Steve could just move.
Yeah.
But
renter, Also,
because I have resources.
we have a mix of rentals and renters and owners, don't we? Or do we all have, who owns and who rents in this group?
I think we all own, but
Yeah.
but like
We were all condo people, but that doesn't mean the building doesn't have a mix.
yeah,
Yeah.
my place has a mix. Like Noel's apartment complex has a mix of condos and apartments. So
That would also
Also,
be like part of one of the variables they're looking at. Do you charge more if you're a condo owner or if you're an apartment renter?
So far we have Eric, which of the, like, what are you thinking that the conspiracy has as its components right now?
Well, that's one of those things where I know we're gonna do. So we're gonna go through some of the nodes and talk a little bit about that. So if that'll help clarify some things,
yeah,
we can go through that process.
Okay. I thought we were
watchers of conspiracies.
theorying for that now.
We're headed toward there.
Okay.
But I haven't sussed out nodes or anything of that nature because that's part of what this is for.
Okay.
So we have a pretty solid concept. We know about standing. We're standing 3.
Do we want them to have had a way to, like, are they surveilling us in one way or another, do we think?
in every way.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, are there maybe ways that we've noticed? Maybe that's something we're adding to our lawsuit, or maybe that's something that'll come out during play, or
All the
I think
mirrors.
Ubiquitous.
I think it'd be great if it came out during play. It just seems like a great reveal kind of thing for us to be mad about.
right.
So there may be ubiquitous surveillance, but it's something you're aware of yet.
Right.
That'll come up later. Okay. All right. Let's go with principles. 3 principles. What is principle number 1?
Define it. What are we? I don't have the.
They're kind of like mission statements. Remember we had, I'm trying to remember what we did with animal control on that one.
I've got one. Everything unusual has value.
Well, do we want them to think that? Or only certain of these weird happenings we care about, but maybe some of them we don't care about.
Okay. Well,
Useful, maybe we don't care about them.
Profit in the weird.
Waiting for the deviant machine to poop out what they want.
But they don't really care what it poops out, right? As long as it's marketable.
If it's
Yeah,
useful,
that's true.
then they'll care about it.
Yeah.
Well, if they find out that your powers are sucky and they don't really have any use for you, and they can't think of any other conspiracy that wants to use you either, they'll just like arrange for someone to make an offer on your condo and buy it out from under you. Offer you can't refuse. I mean, the electrical in this building is so terrible. It's not hard to get people to move out when you want them to.
Sure. Well, okay. So, but turn this into a mission statement-esque kind of thing.
Mm. We'll harvest what we need.
Reap where you did not sow.
We need to make it more corporate.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I
Yeah.
was trying to go for. Like a, this is how we market our, I think Eric was close with the Prophet in the Weird or whatever,
Prophet
but
in the Weird, yeah.
feels like it needs one last twist.
Just seems like it's not
Use
quite
only the best.
specific enough.
Yeah.
We use only the best.
Stranger home, stranger happenings.
What about something like, you know, gosh, I'm trying to think of like something along the lines of like a slogan that a realtor would have for
Yeah,
putting the
that's
right
what I was-
people in the right homes or something like that, where there's a hidden meaning, which is the right homes to turn them into something useful.
The right
I love
homes
it.
unlock your
Like
hidden
a right
potential.
a right home for every resident, something like that.
Right resident for every home.
Well, I went the
Um,
other way around.
That
Yeah, I
sounds
know.
a little too eugenic.
Or yeah,
It does.
We'll find the right home for you. I don't know. Maybe it's too broad.
That's no. I think that's
That's-
okay.
I
It's not
actually
super.
really like. I like Marco's thing where it's backwards, the perfect resident for every home.
I think that was Eric.
Oh,
Was,
okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't me, but
Sorry.
I'll take credit.
I mean, that might be something that isn't what Jake is talking about, but like that might be a different
that's-
principle.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not what they advertise on Google, but
Yeah.
maybe that's
Right.
what they have on their company memos.
Right.
Just at any holiday party, that's the slogan that's on the slideshow.
But I really like Jake's idea though to figure out and I don't know, maybe the realty version is like a bastardization of that is also true.
Yeah, that's true. But I suppose if we're thinking of them as collecting data on the residents so that they know who will grow into the right things, they're kind of one level removed from the realty process anyway.
Well, finding the perfect home for you.
Our process makes sure to match the right resident to the right house.
But
But
I was just saying,
they're a level
oh,
up
sorry.
from that though, because they're trying to figure out how to do that matching right now.
They can claim they know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it is pretty marketing-y to claim.
To claim things that you don't know or don't do
If you put the thought
or
on,
aren't trying to do.
you have to put the thought into the universe in order for it to come true. So
Yeah.
Getting shady real estate agents down here. Well, that seems like a likely
Our
node.
proprietary process.
Number one in customer value,
Correct place
according to nobody.
guaranteed.
only 2 blood draws required.
I want to say that finding the perfect home for you has a double meaning because one, it's the whole, we're going to put you in a house or a condo that you're really going to love and it's just perfect for you, both in the sense of you'll like it, which is what the advertising element of it, but also the perfect home for you because you're the experiment and we know where you belong in the building so that we can guarantee your increase the odds of your divergence. And also, the perfect home for you when you get shipped out of here and finally you're allowed to leave, we know which conspiracy you're going to be picked up by.
when
I
we
dig
talk
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
about where
fits.
to put you. Sure.
Classified realty.
Classified realty. Okay, so there's triple entendre on that one. Okay,
You're welcome.
perfect resident for every home is sort of the corollary to that. Do we want to? Is that a separate principle, or is that
Yeah.
okay? Because that's more about making sure the property has the right, is being fed the right people.
And then,
And then-
let's think of a corporate speak for like an out-facing thing for other conspiracies, like
We'll find
you
the
know,
tools you need.
what's that?
Like we'll find the tools you need deal.
Definitely should refer to the people as assets.
Homegrown assets.
Homegrown assets. As in it's grown in their home.
Supply us the qualifications you need, and we'll just wait for the randomness of this to poop out what you want and claim it was all due to
In-house.
process.
Well, it is their process.
Right.
Oh my God. I just realized okay, so a conspiracy has figured out that there's this big piece of infrastructure. They don't really know what that means, but they figured out that if they starve it of enough resources, that it will start doing
We'll
what
try to fix it.
doing what Marco is talking about, where it starts looking for solutions in other ways.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying life finds a way?
Yes.
Yeah. Machine gods find a way, whatever.
Or whatever the building is, it's like starving or dying or not able to complete its mission, and that's why it's creating deviants. But they're doing it on purpose.
I like it.
Gosh.
They're starving it on purpose?
Yeah,
In order to make the
Oh.
deviants happen.
which is why it doesn't have enough electricity, and which is why the water keeps shutting off, and which is why all of these
The building is broken.
Well, that's true. I mean, to us, the building is broken, though. For a piece of
Right.
infrastructure, it could still be functioning just fine.
True, or
it's
that's
not.
the reason it's doing weirder stuff like making Rachel.
Wait a second. You mean my character or just me?
Oh, your character,
Thank you.
Hamson. Sorry.
So I guess so they're like, okay, this building, if you put people in apartment, 1A and 7G, and like these 3 or 4 rooms in the building, or apartments in the building, condos in the building, every like 6 months or so, if it's left to its druthers, it poops out, 4 or 5 deviants or mad people, depending on how the divergence goes. But I think we can do better than that. So they start manipulating the infrastructure's inputs. It's electricity, it's water, exactly what residents are involved there, because sometimes it's like there seems to be an interaction between the who's living in the apartments, in the condos, and what happens to them. And so they're looking for those traits that happens to twig this specific infrastructure in interesting ways to increase the likelihood of more than just 4 or 5 condos that are producing deviants.
Which is why they've invested so much in marketing and making the outside so shiny, because they need to constantly bring in new people to.
Yeah.
That's why they don't let you interact with anybody else who lives there during your tour. For multiple reasons.
We still need a third principle, though, right?
We do.
I'm sorry.
Unless we want homegrown assets, but
Should it be
That's
something
what's
with
pretty fun.
how involved they are? You know, there's a reason that they kind of leave it to its own devices, but tinker a little bit rather than trying to take the whole process on themselves.
Well, I would presume that they wouldn't do that, because if they tried, a big flock of angels would descend on them, and that would be bad for business.
would be.
But I don't know. Maybe they don't know that. I don't
Why
really
would they?
know.
You know,
They
It's
wouldn't know
here's
that
weird
until they
stuff
did it.
that's happening, and we'll profit from it. But
Maybe they're deciding to poke it with a stick, but they're starting with a very long, small stick instead of a very big, like, tree trunk.
Maybe
if they can figure out the variables, if they can figure out why, you know, shutting off the power here or rewiring this or the water or whatever creates this, if we can figure out all the probabilities on our own, then we can take it upon ourselves and make it more of a controlled process. Or maybe that's the goal. Make it our own, make it controlled. Right now it's not, and we're figuring it out.
Right, which is why they're comparing all of these variables that they're doing to the building at the same time as classifying all of us and figuring out what we're up to and what we can do and things like that. It's a startup.
It's a startup.
With angel investors.
Oh,
no,
God.
that's the problem. Okay, no, I missed the pun there somehow, Rachel. Yeah.
I do like homegrown assets for you or whatever.
homegrown assets for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that works well enough for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Virtue advice. Getting a sense of this particular group.
Because the selling of deviants isn't really their long-term goal. It's just how they're paying for their startup, you know, like it's just a byproduct. And it's a good way to get rid of tenants that have diverged already.
Oh,
I mean, you watch these birds, and eventually you need to even let them out of the cage. It's a lot more easier to just let them out of the cage than it is to just kill them and try to figure out how to hide the bodies. I mean,
it's much easier to let the fox into the cage. It's faster that way.
Oh boy. So virtue and vice.
Oh yeah.
Virtue is sort of its lofty goals. Vice is the thing that tends to get its people in trouble.
And they oftentimes will be the opposite, in the sense that a virtue could be that they're lazy.
Yeah, it can be. Yep.
I think that their vice should be how corporate they are. That they're always looking for marketing opportunities, and they just can't let that alone.
Like they want to sell
For a startup, that's
when
a good advice.
startup.
Marketing first strategy.
Yeah.
For profit.
Profit driven. There we go.
Everything for money.
Yeah.
Everything for cash.
They're addicted to capitalism.
It's not even just specifically the profit motive, but I think the addiction to marketing is almost this thing. Like even when they don't need to sell a condo, they are gonna try to sell a condo.
Right.
As long as
and they're gonna try and oversell a condo.
Yeah. Um, hard sell.
Oversell just makes me think about what was happening with airlines when they'd have to like physically remove people from airplanes because they wouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's nothing, but
Their marketing department's just way too eager.
Yeah, I think you could just put zealous marketing or overzealous marketing.
Too extra.
Yeah.
And that's their virtue.
That's their vice.
That's
That's
their
the thing.
vice.
They just can't stop doing it. Like
That's
if
their vice.
if they could, they just have no desire to ever get out of selling condos and expanding and buying more places that have similar. The opportunity to find another thing like this building is just like, golden. What's the word? Holy grail.
Gray duck.
Love
great duck.
They really want to build their own.
long term. I don't think they're going to get a chance to do that in this.
No.
It's like hard even for demons. So
Not if we have anything
Virtue.
to say about it.
Virtue.
This is the thing they aspire to do.
Yeah, this is sort of a little bit more of the lofty goal of the organization.
It also could be something that would be traditionally a vice, but makes the corporation accidentally better.
Yeah. Organized. It feels like this group, like they have got a lot of interlocking pieces that they're very carefully moving around.
Data driven.
Data driven.
I love it.
Okay, data driven is the virtue. Oh my gosh.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
The more corporate speak that we can use, the better.
All right. So now nodes and linchpins. These were always fun. So we're going to start with.
So remind me what nodes and linchpins are.
Nodes are specific, like functional pieces. It's like the laboratory where these things happen, or the HOA
Okay.
that organizes that.
Be one.
Huh?
The building itself would be one.
Yeah, the building itself would be one. Let me get the.
And then a linchpin is a specific person that makes that node go.
Yeah.
That without
which
that
it
person,
collapse.
it will fall apart.
Are we so like the landlord would be the building's runner on the conspiracy side, where the angel maintenance guy is the building's runner on the God machine side, right?
Yes. And honestly, the linchpin from the God Machine perspective would be that office that Noel's character found. That like the way that you responded, that is definitionally the way linchpins look and feel and work. Is that's the vulnerability of the infrastructure. But yeah, from the linchpin, from the that maintenance guy is definitely the God Machine side of things, and the landlord would be the landlord would be the.
So, remind me, for a standing 3 conspiracy, how many nodes are we looking at?
So you start with 7, and there are nodes, 2 icons. 12 base attribute points. And these are going to be modified by the number of you. And the next is 7. All right, and so with 3 extra deviants, that's going to go to 6 more attributes, so 18 attribute total, and an additional 3 nodes, so a total of 10 nodes that we have to work with. So 10 nodes, 2 icons, 18 attributes.
How many nodes do we want to define today?
The way it's written, it's at least 1 per player.
Okay.
I'm okay with about half.
Sure.
That gives me some to play with.
Because I have a really good list to start with. I mean, the building is a great one to do, but having the surveillance unit, the data managers,
Number crunchers.
yeah, and then the marketing people that's the for this conspiracy, that's going to be the one of the, what do you call it, the overseer type nodes. Hierarchical, yeah.
Marketing firm, okay.
Yeah. I also like the moving company to be the like that's their muscle. If they need to kidnap somebody and make them go away, they moved away. And
they're temporal.
I also think that we should name the building. And I have a really good second word for the building, but I think that we need a sufficiently creepy first word. Right. I think it should be the something gardens, because we are like literally grown, and they are like tending this garden or whatever of deviants. But I can't think of a good creepy first word that would go with that.
Covenant Gardens.
Paramore Gardens.
The Gardens of Phantasmagoria.
Thank you, Marco.
Mutant making.
The mutant making gardens. I don't know that I want to live in a building that was called the mutant making gardens. Shady gardens does not help.
Yeah.
Partially, why would you want a shady garden? And also shady.
Yeah.
Did I might have actually, in the little thing I wrote, I might have actually had a name.
Oh, did you?
Somewhere. Yeah. Let me look back. Let's see. Maybe I didn't.
I didn't attach any particular meaning to it because I thought we all lived in different places at that time. So,
yep, looks like I didn't. I didn't write a name.
Well, we can put that on the back burner. I just thought I'd throw that in as long as we were talking about making the building a node.
Landlord's linchpin. Is the building? I think exploitative is actually the best description for this one, because it's working pretty indirectly. Basically, like throwing random god machine critters at you, like taking advantage of the fact that the infrastructure will protect itself, and they're just taking advantage of the fact that it's taking advantage of. Anyway. Okay. Surveillance unit, does that feel like a temporal as well? One that they control out, or is that I want to say the data managers are probably structural. Connect with um, the other conspiracies of the pain, and are plenty of trouble that way.
Yeah, exactly. The data managers are like the out-facing group or whatever, which is so backwards. It should be the data-driven is the hierarchical, and the marketers should be the out-facing group. But it's backwards for this unit because of for this conspiracy because of their particular problem.
Yeah, and also, in a way, it shows that their vice is winning. So,
right.
I have an idea for a node.
Sure.
They have some sort of they have recovered they have found the site of an angel that has been almost entirely destroyed. And they are using that like a canary in the coal mine to know when they've tweaked things in the infrastructure too far. And there's going to be...
That might actually be an icon.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect icon.
Some way of measuring let's call it the weather vane.
Yes.
taking the weather, the divine.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tempest Gardens?
I like
Tempest
it.
Gardens, yeah.
I was about to thesaurus up unexpected. Amazing gardens, astonishing, fortuitous, startling. Stunning.
Not sync. Oh, what is the word? Oh my gosh. No, there's a very specific word. That is like...
Can't see your brain.
I know you can't.
Keep talking through it.
Yep.
It'll be there. I know where to find it. It's just another book.
Wilder Gardens.
Yeah, I knew that if I threw this at the group, we'd come up with a perfect word for it. But
yeah, that's
Great Duck Gardens.
I have it. I just have to find it.
Impulsive gardens.
Serendipity.
Ooh.
Serendipitous Gardens.
Perfect. Yeah. Let's do it.
That works.
It's all about, being in the right place at the right time, seemingly by happenstance or by
No, you're
fate.
right. That does fit really well.
Serendipitous Gardens. Okay.
Happenstance, dumb luck.
It fits perfectly, just not for us.
It fits perfectly. We just don't anymore.
We just don't anymore. Fit anything. Sometimes literally.
All right. So we've got, by my count, we've got 5 nodes.
Yeah.
We got one
icon, so that's half of them. I don't think that you need to do the other one. I'll come up with something. And then I guess we have stats, attributes in just a second. Let me try whether...
Okay, he's just typing. It didn't freeze.
Yeah, nothing exciting. I'm just playing.
While he's typing, I'm going to toss this out to the group.
Yeah.
Would it be weird if I gave my Manticore companion cat telekinesis?
No, that's perfectly normal.
How? Tell me how you're envisioning that.
Well, I have 3 dots to play with. And so that gives me 1 3-dot, 2 2, or 3 1s. And I was thinking about doing pheromones 2, which is the communication.
Yeah, I remember that
I'm
one.
looking for another 2 to add into that because I sort of forgot to stat my cat, and I'm just debating on.
Well, one thing I ought to remind you of is that there's a standard deviation that is like you can only target specific things, and you might have it like you could give it more powerful telekinesis if you could only telekinesis with certain objects or certain people or whatever.
Yeah.
That usually plays with scars, which manticores don't have to deal with. I'm
okay.
with
I'm
doing.
sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm okay with
Right, I
doing
got
that,
it
but yeah, that's just a little outside of. It's a little outside of norm, but not like out of control.
Never mind. Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking variations, not scars, and I've got it backwards.
No worries.
If my cat had telekinesis, it would definitely be very, very fat. Something to consider.
Mine too.
In fact, it might primarily move itself by telekinesis. Like the legs are dragging on the floor and the body is.
Oh my gosh.
That's just how Baxter gets around these days.
Yeah.
Ooh, or pyrokinesis could be fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want a cat being able to set things on fire with a look.
What was the other variation that you had already chosen?
Pheromones too.
Oh,
yeah.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That fits with cat.
So if it finds you worthy of communication, it will communicate with you.
Yeah.
I feel like cats might already have that.
I think they do.
Seeing as how she can stare at me, and you kind of realize, oh, we forgot to feed you, didn't we?
Yeah.
Leia's learned how to beg for table scraps.
Ooh.
Officially, like she sits at my leg and just looks up at me just like a dog would. And eventually she wears me down. I'm not gonna lie.
She learned it from watching you, Eric.
Yes, she probably did.
But would pheromones for people would that be that it can emulate speech?
Yeah, it can talk to people.
It can talk to people?
It's just what I was doing with the squirrel.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. What am I talking
Except-
about? Yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah.
That piece of it, yeah.
Backwards pheromones, yes.
Backwards
Yeah.
pheromones.
All right, let's do power finesse resistance. We have 18 points to work with, max is 7. So we have a whole lot of variety that we can achieve with that number.
I feel like they should be better at finesse than the other two.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
They're all about the marketing and the getting what they're all about the sideways getting what they want, not the straightforward.
So like a finesse of 7, and then what were the other two? Power and
resistance.
resistance.
Yeah, so one would be, well, it could
6
be
and
5 and
5.
6 or 4 and 7.
Probably a 5 and 6.
Sure.
Which is which?
I mean, they seem to be able to manipulate a lot of. Well, that's that finesse thing again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem to get things done too. I think they're probably a little bit more power than finesse.
And resistance 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can do that.
they're a
So,
startup. They're still weak against being toppled.
yeah.
Should we quick run through some linchpins?
Yeah, we could use linchpins.
Sure.
Uh,
I mean, so Rachel already identified the one for the building. It's the landlord.
mm,
Yeah.
let's give the landlord a name. I'm picturing some kind of real estate lady that is the epitome of real estate ladies.
Is her name Karen?
I was gonna say
It is now.
she always wears a blazer.
Karen Norbeck.
There we go. Did we decide what city we are in?
I would like to request
No.
one actually in the northern half, or at least closer to higher elevation, so that entry
Makes sense.
yeah, because I feel like being an aspiring biathlete doesn't make a ton of sense in like Miami.
Colorado.
Ah,
Sure.
That
Perfect.
is a mix of the South and the North and cultural.
I'd say parts of Pennsylvania would probably work too.
That'll do.
Denver's large enough to accommodate that, and it's close enough to mountains to be usable.
Sure.
Having a nice large city to play with means that we can have more, because it's standing three, it is likely a regional power. I mean, the other way to go with a standing three is something where they own one little city, but boy, do they own it. I don't think that's quite where we're going here. I think we're more of it's a regional power with, as we said, it's a startup. It doesn't have absolute control.
Yeah, I agree.
And okay. Getting back to
And it would have to be a big enough town that would have like a nuclear power plant.
yeah, that's true too.
that's true.
I'm not sure offhand whether Denver has one, but Denver also has maybe the source of the electricity matters to the god machine. Stuff like that. And so it's
Google will
like
tell us.
yeah.
Is there nuclear power in Denver?
There is now.
Yeah.
Just remember, the Atlanta doesn't have a space needle either, but
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, okay.
That was Ian, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It looks like the answer is no, so
Yeah.
we would have to make one up.
That we could probably
Okay.
say, hey, there's a power plant there, and
My guess is they have a lot of hydroelectric.
Oh, let's see.
They have one now.
yep.
They had to power this building inadequately.
Yeah.
Oh, we almost
a really bad one.
Again, though, it definitely doesn't run on electricity.
It was a failed nuclear startup.
Most of the real ones are on the East Coast or Illinois.
Right.
But yeah, we can put one in Colorado. It doesn't matter. It's the Chronicles of Darkness.
They can't like this.
So the surveillance unit, what kind of person is their is going to be their linchpin?
An intern?
What?
No.
This is like military intelligence guy, ex-military turned private.
Or couldn't.
But I'm still seeing a pencil necked, like a pencil pusher type. Like, yeah, he was involved in intelligence, but he was not a like.
Not a like field agent, but
He was not a field agent. He was an office agent.
So less Archer and more what's his butt?
right. All the butts are his.
I
Krieger?
haven't watched much Archer.
Cyril. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've realized. Everybody.
Yeah, he was an analyst, and now he doesn't do that anymore, and he doesn't want to talk about why.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't CIA. Maybe it was NSA.
There you go.
There's such agency.
Data
Also,
driven.
NSA deals. Yep. Also, NSA deals with signals and intelligence, whereas CIA deals primarily in human intelligence.
There you go.
So SIGINT seems a lot closer to ubiquitous evil surveillance in this building and its surrounds. I'm going to make the surveillance unit, I think, structural. It just seems to tie everything together and sort of work, unless you guys think that it should be exploitative or.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Because it feels like it's something that gives special buffs to the other units rather than something that does things by itself.
Yeah.
Which is with devoted companion stuff that I've been playing around with. That's kind of where I'm going with structurals. So
is anyone else thinking that this person should be like the lady from Homeland? Who's like a little bit obsessive about detail and sometimes takes risks to check up on things, and I don't know.
That's why she's not
going
to say anymore.
Yeah.
I could see that. A little bit less badass, a little bit more useless. I don't. I was picturing this person as somebody who's very good at crunching numbers and very bad at doing anything.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe they're just bad at picking out the important things.
No. That's what they're good at. It's just they're bad about doing anything about it.
So they see it, but
so they like, okay, this is what's happening. You should do this horribly, obviously wrong thing about it. Like you always take the data, ignore their advice for what to do, how to act upon the data.
You're making them a mathematician, is what you're doing. They solve the problem, they figure out what needs to be done, and then they go to bed.
Yeah, they stick it on a Post-it and leave it on their boss's desk, and then Monday morning when their boss comes in, they're like,
this is what someone needs to do. Oh, so did you do that thing? No. I figured out what needed to be done.
Yeah, I'm an analyst, not a.
Yeah.
I analyzed.
Data managers. The linchpin.
Yeah, the number crunchers, I think their linchpin should be a computer.
Okay.
Like,
AI.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe AI is a little something specialer than normal.
And I think that maybe if an AI is the source of the data manager linchpin, linchpin. I'm guessing that's the probably the unit that has the icon.
Sure. And is working the predictive modeling into their number crunching.
Marketing firm.
High flying Playboy CEO.
Somebody's son.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
The son of the
one.
high-flying Playboy CEO.
I like that. I like that.
The failed son of the
Yes.
high-flying.
Yeah, he got offered a job at the company just mainly so an eye could be kept on him, but I didn't realize they gave him access to the company jet.
Well,
Sure.
I'm sure that like he owns the stuff, and I don't know. He's kind of like, I don't want to say he's kind of like Jared Kushner, but he's kind of like Jared Kushner. Has lots of like a rich family and can probably and somehow gets put in charge of things he has no business doing.
But and it turns out that the people that have managed to cozy up closest to him are the marketers, and they've really got them on their team.
Yeah.
And he just cares so much less about the surveillance and the number crunching people that are really doing the real work of his business. And he's letting the marketers run the show through him.
Okay.
That fits.
Yeah. And then moving company.
Well, this is muscle, so
Yeah. Moving
I'm
company.
yeah.
I'm picturing a large, sweaty guy with a mustache.
They say, would there be a lot of loyalty of the employees there, since
What? I didn't, the
sorry,
question didn't come through.
formed thought there, so never mind. I'm thinking.
Well, temporal means that they know or have a pretty good idea that they work for the conspiracy. They're not like
never mind.
like when you're dealing with exploitative, you're kind of using cat's paws. When you're dealing with temporal, these are people that you actually have hired that are doing the job for you.
Yeah, I mean, these are people who kidnap people and box up their houses.
Mhm.
They know they're not legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No pretense. Mm.
Moving day is like a thing that like supposedly inspires terror in their foes.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than a move out notice that I didn't request a move out notice.
They don't give notice.
Yeah.
No.
they have the master keys. You just open your condo and move you right out.
Show up for evictions.
But I own, I can't be evicted. Yes.
I think that the linchpin should be I think that they should have a devoted.
This is for movers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they need
That
somebody
fits.
who could go up against a deviant and contain them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
Someone-
a really good point.
Maybe it's one of the early products of the building that they made use of for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we said they're light on devoted, but it's not like they've none. I mean, they have to. But yeah, someone who's their muscle would be a good devoted to have, and that
Yeah.
seems to fit the bill here.
Someone who is sold on getting in on the ground floor.
Mhm.
Are you going to be using
Madeline.
your creatures, I guess, of darkness in your stuff? Like
Creatures of darkness.
wolves and whatnot?
Well,
I'm
He's
not
saying
sure
like werewolves and vampires and all that kind of stuff.
angels and demons are already
Yeah.
written into the game.
Yeah.
Anything else on an ad hoc as I feel like I need it basis. I don't want to muddy it too much and overcomplicate it too much because it's not like we're running this game for 3 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We're definitely not be running this game.
I don't know if
We hope.
you needed
Yeah.
to try throwing a party of deviants against a party of other supernatural, or one, or whatever it is,
Mhm.
for like testing purposes.
Well, that's true. It
Yeah.
could be. It could be like a demon or something like that, or
Well,
or a.
the goal of this scenario isn't to playtest a crossover. There's a little bit of demon and angel just because we have a coactive who interacts with, or I can't remember whether you actually co-active or whether you just have the otherworldly connection. But if you have otherworldly connection, you are going to be playing with something other than just deviants in all likelihood. And I own all the books. I've written for several of them. I might as well use that information to my advantage. But I'm not going to have half the. Although it would be kind of fun to have a mage trying to poke around too, but probably not going to be doing that right out of the gate.
Usually, we have to twist your arm not to have mages.
Yeah, it's hard to get. Well, honestly, I'm actually being worse with bringing the God Machine and everything than I've been about mages. But mages are pretty. I like mages a lot. I like demons a lot. It's hard to completely keep them out of my games.
Yeah.
And deviants in any other game are just the perfect monster of the week critter, this thing that the mages don't understand, that can figure out what the demons are up to when they shouldn't be able to. They're fun. But yeah, I'm not gonna have every condo is a different supernatural splat. That's not my plan.
No, I just meant as part of the conspiracy muscle. Maybe it's a hunter or something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid that for now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the question.
There will come a day when conspiracies can have supernatural creatures more visibly, but I'm trying not to get into that yet because
It'll be a surprising day.
it'll be a surprising day. I'm not saying it can never happen in this game, but it's not likely.
All right. So anyway, some devoted deviant muscle man.
Yeah, we'll do some devoted.
He should show up to move people in a mobster suit or something like that.
I'm imagining this person in one of those inflatable T-Rex suits now. And
I was going with one of those those chicken suits, but yes, T-Rex suit is great. He's got a T-Rex suit.
Maybe he's a machine man.
Hey, here come the movers.
They brought that silly T-Rex costume again.
He's actually a T-Rex metacore.
I was wearing that weird T-Rex blow-up costume.
Well, it's probably because of his conspicuous appearance, and being in a T-Rex costume is less horrifying than having only half a face.
It's pretty bad though.
Pretty bad.
Definitely catches a lot of luck.
attention. Yeah, so we've actually done a pretty decent job of getting everything fleshed out. I think we have a couple more touchstones that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
I think. Let's see. Marco said.
I also
do
do
know more about your girlfriend.
She doesn't live here.
Not a live-in girlfriend.
Doesn't live in this building.
I do want to also just mention that something from my backstory was that there is one or more religious zealots out there who have it in for me, and they know where I live. So I don't know if that will play into anything at all, but I thought I would put that out there just while we're putting things together.
Because they
What?
shot you in your head.
Yes, they do think I'm dead because they shot me in the head.
No. You got better.
It got better.
Mostly.
That's the weirdest "It Gets Better" campaign commercial ever. You get shot in the head.
Yes, you
and then it fades to black and it just says "It Gets Better" in bloody letters.
Wow.
Yeah, well, dark humor is a thing. All right.
I just thought, yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm done.
So I guess to a certain extent, like you don't have them fleshed out, but you kind of, because you don't know that they're conviction touchstones almost, but you know that they're going to be there. So I think I'm okay just leaving those as placeholders for now, and then we can give them names later and let you hate them. Does that seem reasonable?
I think I've had a run-in with the move-in guy.
Okay.
Because when he moves people out, he goes to the garage. And I tried to intervene on behalf of a neighbor that I knew. And well, this was before my divergence, and I got my ass kicked.
You got handled.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got handled.
And then my neighbor disappeared, and I have no idea where they went.
Are you going to make note of that little additional detail in your side of notes? I'm kind of getting a little cramped on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can note that.
Awesome. Thanks. Okay, so moving guy on you. Both religious zealots doesn't know that he hates them yet. We'll get them introduced and give them proper conviction touchstone from there. Yay for introducing people that want to kill you. So,
If you have amnesia, can you
Yep.
have touchstones that you don't remember?
I think I could only have touchstones based on people that I don't remember.
it's
'Cause-
complicated
well,
for him.
Yeah.
Or people that you've run into since your divergence, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like ordinarily, you know, you have to, it has to be ones you remember because you have to have that drive to hate them and destroy them. I think in this case, I'm willing to bend that a little bit because it is Amnesia 5, and
Yeah.
otherwise we're going to be here all night talking about like someone who like snuck out, like took his clothes out of the washer and put them on the dryer so they could do the laundry.
They stole my laundry.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to say that you shouldn't be able to do this. I was instead, I think I was more referring to something that's in the actual book, in that you can leave one open to, like, I think it actually says that in the touchstone.
You're thinking about self-made or something else? Oh, you're talking. Oh, yeah. I think you may be right. It's been a.
I think it actually
it
says that in there.
No, I think I know what you're talking about.
But in any event, I'm totally cool with it. I was just wondering if that was a thing that you could do normally.
You are almost certainly correct that you can leave some of them open and up front. Let me just
Yeah.
Maybe, Jake, since you spend a lot of your time filling your social needs via the TV, maybe some either TV characters or shows or something TV related is a touchstone.
Yeah, but that's difficult because I can't actually do
Interact
anything. Yeah, with that.
Unless it's like a local reporter or something.
Unless it's like a local reporter, and I just show up every now and then, and I'm like, "Hey, you suck at reporting."
Actually, I was thinking the loyalty touchstone would be even funnier.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be just weird. Yeah.
You're ride or die for the Channel 4 weather person.
Well,
Yeah.
though, if they're
person who
familiar
can-
with my stand-up, then maybe that wouldn't be so weird for them. They would just be like, "Why is this person? Why are they interested in me?"
I just want to.
Quite a love.
I just want the awkwardness level to be as high as possible for you, Jake.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The way you interact with the green screen, it's like magic, man. I really felt like it was going to snow tomorrow.
Okay.
Snow today. That's enough.
I think I'll leave that open for the moment. I think you are actually thinking more of self-made because that definitely leaves you open. just at a glance, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, okay.
But well, I'll try to introduce someone early. I just probably don't want to spend all night trying to imagine, which particular meteorologist you dislike, or whether or like a stand-up comedian that was on Conan the other night that you really hated. I don't know why I'm picking on Conan tonight.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I have it in for a guy who was yeah, I don't know.
Another stand-up comedian who lives in the building.
I think
if there was one, that would almost certainly be the case. Yeah.
I think another comedian could have stolen your shtick, and now.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's.
You went hiding. He took your hot pocket joke.
You have to decide what your hot pocket joke is.
Oh, that's true. I haven't come up with that. I was thinking, because my guy mostly does like dumb comedy, it would be saying something, like clever, right? Or something like that. After a joke. Clever,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Clever, right? I have a tiny fruit fly in my room right now.
Someone on your turf. That would definitely be a good conviction touchstone.
Yeah.
Rival comedian.
You don't remember you're a comedian, though, right?
That's true. I don't.
I think you.
But I don't have to remember it. It just has to enrage me.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
I can be enraged. I'm not the type of person who lets things like reason dictate what I should be feeling about things.
You should definitely have a guy that's like blowing up in the Denver stand-up community or whatever, and just got his first like Netflix special and stuff like that. Because he like completely stole your shtick. Yeah. And like you drew all the hate, and now like the religious right like can't just like hate on this guy because they already like murdered you.
They've spent their ire on me. So
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the guy who sort of went out of his way to come after me was so thoroughly denounced by everything involved that no one wants to do this to the new guy.
Right.
Do you? I'm trying to remember. You were shot, right?
That sounds like from your.
Not really. We'll say no.
Because you were like asleep and you woke up and you were healed. You're like, whatever, new day.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking that I would recognize that someone had tried to kill me, nor I definitely have no idea why anyone would.
Yeah.
Well, but the rest of us know that he's dead.
Supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Why?
We knew you.
Well,
I mean, wasn't it news that you were dead?
No. This guy shot me, and then he was like, well, that's taken care of. So like he and whoever he's talking to are pretty sure that I'm dead.
Oh, okay.
But it hasn't been news. No.
I see.
Okay. The fact that there isn't news probably tipped them off that something may have gone wrong.
Probably tips them off, but they're also going to be tipped off by the fact that I'm going to be walking around like nothing's.
I don't know.
It's fine. Go to the grocery store.
It'll be really fun to find out that you're supposed to be dead then at some point.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Noel, you've got one more conviction or one more wild card. The demon lawyer, maintenance guy, moving guy.
Yeah. I'm imagining that there is for a good conviction touchstone for me, I described myself as not all my jobs have gone off perfectly.
Mhm.
And but I'm a smart guy and I'm the wheelman. So if anyone gets away, I do.
Right.
Well, turns out one of the jobs went very badly. A job that I designed, basically. By the way, I'm going to use that equipment building mechanic that you've got in there for like putting plans together and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's Second Ed Chronicles. That was a great add to the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be using that. I'm both for physical things and for plans.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so a job went very badly, and so one of my conviction touchstones is the guy that I screwed over the worst by abandoning him and driving off as they were getting arrested.
Or are you his conviction touchstone?
Well, I mean, it started out that way, and then he came after me a couple of times, and now we hate each other. But I'll give him a name and whatnot, and add it to my bit. Go ahead, Jake.
I have another conviction touchstone. A third.
Okay.
Front desk lady.
Oh yeah.
She's got her mug. She thinks it's really funny. She thinks it's cute and clever, and I disagree.
You.
One morning,
you kind of need to be hunted by a conspiracy, so you will start murdering people who deserve it.
Maybe after you were shot, she was eating Hot Pockets for breakfast and it set you off.
My actual thing isn't, I'm not actually Jim Gaffigan, is that the right name?
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank you. Every now and then, just for a moment, I feel like not remembering
your knowledge
things.
is somebody else's?
No, just like especially first names. For some reason with famous people, I'll go like, oh, that's that movie that Tom Hanks was in. Wait, is it Tom Hanks? It is Tom, right?
Oh gosh.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Your unconscious is
just happens all the time.
Unconscious?
There are certain words that are really, really common that I will sometimes, when I am redlining for too long or editing for too long, writing for too long, start looking like they're not real words.
Oh.
And it's time to go to bed.
Yeah. That could just be it. It could be too many years as a mathematician. My critical thinking processes are poking me at the wrong time.
All right. Nolan, you got one more slot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that
touchstone to your car.
Oh, can I have a loyalty touchstone?
Yeah, you can.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
You're asking for it by making that a loyalty touchstone.
You are, but that's a solid loyalty. No,
yeah,
that fits
it definitely is.
What you do.
Auto sexual.
Oh no, I'm gonna get lots of instability from that.
What, from your car having bad stuff happen to you? Or from bad stuff happening to your car, rather?
Bad stuff happening to your car.
And I'm going to be driving it when it happens.
It'll be well. It only if it gets destroyed, if it gets totaled beyond repair, and you're driving it. Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that was added post Kickstarter, but before it went to editing, was it was that if your loyalty touchstone dies, you get immediate instability. And I realized, wait, if it's your fault that your loyalty touchstone dies, that's a major.
Yeah, no, I definitely caught that. It'll be fun.
That's going to be fun.
I definitely we'll definitely need to talk at some point about the actual mechanics of upgrading instability or turning instability into new powers, because I'm going to be
Fine with
probably
that.
creating some instability.
Yeah. I forgot you're kind of trying to.
One of my
we're
powers
talking about building a.
instability randomly.
Well, I have
We're
the
players.
star that,
Our job is instability.
I would say it's us. Our MO is instability.
I have the actual scar that makes instability. Like,
Oh, okay.
I don't have it at a level that it makes instability yet, but I'm sure going to get there.
Yeah. Well, I know you said you're basically doing a bunch of relatively low dot because you're coactive and can throw a whole bunch of power into things and jack them up.
That's right.
Whereas Jake went for, the big amnesia scar so that he could get the big rapid healing variation so he could mutant and get 3-dot
Get a
variations.
3-dot variation.
Yeah.
So,
What's your selection of that?
It's any universal. I can do a 3-dot.
Mutant. It's only universal.
Yeah, it's only universal that I can steal for I think it's a scene once a chapter or
scene.
something like that.
Yeah. And then you can rebuy that with something.
Yeah, I can suffer a minor instability to use a once per chapter variation or once per scene variation or adaptation that I've already used.
Yep.
So I can spend instability. I can gain instability to use that power more often.
Yeah, there's a reason that one is the one that is painful to reuse over and over again.
Yeah,
It's because it's really, really, really powerful.
it's good.
So
Yeah.
It is really good. But yeah, you're not getting. You can never ever make it so that there's a merit that lets you use another clade's adaptations because
Yeah,
because mutants.
yeah. No, you could do some crazy things by going and getting some cephalith powers or some coactive is the one that gives precognition.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about that's good too, but I'm talking about like making it so that let's say a cephalist can use the reset. We use the reset for a cephalist, which is a willpower, in order to reset the mutant emulate another power adaptation. Spending willpower to emulate power more than once a chapter is way too good. And instability actually gives you pause.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use that as lightly.
It also gives me scars, which gives me powers.
Yes,
gives me more powers to spend on getting other powers to make more scars.
Yeah.
Yep, there's the engine. No one's getting any. No one's getting any. Was getting any acclamation in this, are they?
Nope.
I debated it, but I wanted the dots of merits rather than things.
Yeah, it's the merits are pretty good.
I wanted resources 5, so
I wanted to be able to talk with my cat and do parkour, apparently.
Parkour is a cool merit. I like it.
Yeah, that was one of the ones where I was like, I'm putting that in there. I don't care if it's like 700 words. It's such a big merit, but it's so fun.
It's really cool. I almost took it just for fun.
Yeah. Alrighty. That's pretty much the language. I don't have any anything else. We got like 10 minutes left before 9.
Can I request a couple of brainstorm things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I for 2 of my scars, I have involuntary stimulus and power failure. And I'm having problems thinking of the uncommon things.
So one is a stimulus that makes you turn into a kid. Excuse me?
Yeah. And the power failure one is tied to my boneless.
And that's something that if you're in contact with,
Or it happens, then the power fails and I become solid.
I think
First thing. Go ahead.
I was just saying, because of when it happened the first time, I think that your involuntary stimulus could be whenever you get shut into a tight space.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say too.
Enclosed spaces.
But that was your boneless thing, right?
Well, both of them sort of happened. The boneless was under the couch. I mean, I may have turned into a cat then. I may not have noticed because I was.
What is your animal transformation tied to?
What is my animal transformation tied to? Involuntary stimulus.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, no, that I agree with Noel then, because if it's you turn into a cat when you get it put in an enclosed space, or you try to squeeze into too tight quarters, which seems like a benefit most of the time until someone puts you in a cat carrier and you can't actually get out of the cat carrier easily. So I would say that's it's just an uncommon. It's not a rare.
Yeah, uncommon. So enclosed space works. Like I guess
as long as we don't live in a building that has elevators.
I don't think it's elevator.
There's this cat
common.
who keeps taking the elevator.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be elevator common. I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be tighter than that. But let's say like someone locks you in pushes you into a closet and closes the door. I think you turn into a cat. So yeah, elevators are fine. Don't get locked in a closet.
Or if you want to be a cat, go hide in the closet.
Well,
Go hide in the closet.
I could activate the powers and become a cat.
You could do that too.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, it's also unpredictable, which means I think it can
happen whenever Eric says so.
Yeah, whenever Eric thinks it's funny, pretty much. So you're welcome.
I appreciate that. Anything to make things lighter. Yes.
because Noel had the one that you couldn't turn off last time. I'm always thinking that that it's only something that happens when the involuntary stimulus is there, kind of a thing. But
there is a thing for that, but
yeah,
but that's not the standard.
No,
yeah.
There's a standard deviation. Anyway, so, and then as far as power failure for boneless, what is the rarity, or what is it? Is it just a regular uncommon effect?
I'm torn between tying it to magnitude 3 with an uncommon thing, or tying it to magnitude 4 with a rare thing, which turns it into like cost-wise magnitude 3 thing.
The same.
Well, what would it be like? What's the variation that you were tying it to?
Boneless.
Boneless.
And boneless 4?
Boneless
3.
Boneless 3.
So turn into liquid.
But I also have it's boneless 3, but I have the defensive variation.
Oh, okay. So it's essentially boneless 4.
Yeah.
It's the liquid version, but you can do it very quickly.
But one of those is my free one, so
okay. Okay, so we're dealing with a boneless 3.
Something that would make you keep your bones.
Hopefully that's life. But
so it's something that would prevent you from turning into a liquid.
Right.
Yeah. So under power failure, it breaks down under certain circumstances, which the player chooses when they acquire the scar. Circumstances are uncommon but not unusual, such as when the remade suffers lethal damage when deafened or inside a church.
Right.
Yeah. At 3, when it comes into play, it ends immediately, and I can't reactivate it until the circumstance ends. At 4, if I do it for a more rare occurrence, once it deactivates, it doesn't regain functionality and can't be reactivated for the rest of the scene.
Okay.
So for rare, a specific situation would be like when a loyalty touchstone is a target, or when special equipment is employed, or when I'm in contact with a rare substance. It's sort of the things.
Mhm.
Do you
And I can keep thinking on it. So.
do you want to tie it to your, like, do you want to set it up so that like you can't turn into a liquid unless, or use your boneless abilities unless you're familiar or your mana core is there?
Not necessarily, because I purchased it as a defensive action, and it would be kind of hard.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
No, otherwise that's the kind of screwiness I would totally love if it wasn't my don't die plan.
Right.
You can only do it when people are watching you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think that's kind of funny. You might only be able to do it when nobody human is looking.
I don't think that's uncommon. That's more of a common, or
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that would be too easy to break. And it's not very good defensively if you're trying to provide protection
Yeah.
against gunshots.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to keep thinking on it, I guess, too.
Okay. Yeah, we're running out of time here, so. Yeah. Has anyone else have any parting thoughts or things you want to do before we wrap up?
Oh, you got a deal on all our powers and stuff, right?
You guys sent me some of your basic character stuff and background. It would be awesome if I could get those in like document form, like
Yeah.
because
now,
it's kind of tedious to copy and paste out of my email.
and now that I have,
like
now that I have,
version.
now that I have touchstones, I'll
touchstones and a little like some of these little details that we worked out. Going, oh yeah, I hated this person because of this thing, which may not always get captured in my GM notes.
Yep.
So I would appreciate that too.
Yep.
And other than that, we'll. Other than that, we'll try to meet again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks
At the same time.
Sounds good.
Any
Cool.
wiggly with schedules. All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yep.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yep. Now we all look to see where the lead